They hibernate, they drink, they have migration patterns, and they eat. And mostly, what they want to eat, that's you. Swarmers are the most common. Their name comes from their behavior. They travel in groups of 2 or 3, rarely alone, and sometimes in hordes, which seem to move and respond as if a single organism. Newts are opportunists and only attack if you're low on health or if you invade their space. Screamers you want to watch out for because they can bring swarms down on you. Run into a breaker, you're in trouble. Key to survival are your weapons and skills. Need to burn out a freaker nest, but you're out of Molotovs? That's no problem. Your crossbow can use bolts that you craft in the field. Guns dropped by enemies, they're not great, but survivor camps will sell you better hardware. In a gunfight, combat focus can be the edge that you need to survive, allowing you to really focus in on a target and take the shot. Or use stealth, take him down quietly. Since ammo is scarce, you gotta be up on your melee skills. Crafting and repairing weapons is essential. In fighting 1 or 2 guys, sure, yeah, take them on. More than that, you have to be careful. Run away. Live to fight another day. In Days Gone, you have to take on everything from snipers trying to pick you off from trees to wolves looking for an easy meal. Are you ready to fight?
present. Threat has been nullified.
Made it to the control room. Now bring down that ecopod.
Recall sequence approved.
Here, you'll get access to a brand new ability, Shatter, a fierce blast of kinetic energy. Time to test out your new ability, Anno.
Holy shit! Oh, hell yeah!
Beware the massive mutant crusher. You'll come across many mutants like this throughout the world of Rage 2. Better stay on your toes or you'll get crushed. The wide open world of Rage 2 is bursting at the seams with weapons, vehicles, and over-the-top action. Thank you for watching this quick look at what you can expect. We'll have even more insanity to show off in the coming months.
There are different people every time.
Let's get this done quickly. Get whatever the Warden want and get home.
But I recognize them somehow.
What the hell is this place?
They're screaming at me. I don't hear them, but I know they're screaming.
You got anything?
Such hate and anger.
I hope you bastards are looking up once in a while. Those fuckers might be anywhere.
I don't know what I have done to them.
This place is so damn dark. Sleepers.
They want me to feel what they feel.
This is good, man. This is good stuff. It'll trade. Everything trades. Oh, fuck. To be honest, Eddie, second! Keep your eyes on that door! Ah, shit, there's fucking loads of them!
Then I wake up. I'm not sweating or screaming. I'm perfectly calm. I just open my eyes and I'm awake. And it's not a nightmare. It's just part of me, who I am. I don't fight it. I just live around it.
What the hell?
You look familiar. Our paths crossed years ago, Cabal. I'd never forget a fight.
Fight! Fatality. Cabal wins.
your target is the first step, but it also matters where you shoot. Armor is important. Landing headshots can be beneficial, but you can maximize your damage output by targeting weaker pieces of armor on players as well. All of this comes together to create a system where archers can shoot nearly as fast as they can aim, but it requires lots of skill and practice to effectively take down players on the battlefield. This is important to us as we want to have as much depth in archery as we have in the melee combat. Another area of focus for the team has been Frontline, a 64-player tug-of-war mode that will be the main game mode of Mordhau. In Frontline, 2 teams will battle over control of linear capture points, so you won't have to choose between playing the objective or cutting down your enemies. That being said, the maps in development allow for a lot of creativity in how you reach the objective. Use siege weaponry to destroy enemy defenses and soften up choke points. Flank around and open up the castle gates from within. Use traps to deadly effect. Charge down fleeing enemies from horseback and more. Vehicles have been added to the alpha testing, but they're still being improved, especially horse combat, which can be terrifyingly powerful. Cavalry can charge through multiple opponents, and lances can kill enemies with a single unblockable hit, but this comes at a cost. Get surrounded by your opponents, and you'll be quickly unhorsed and cut to bits. Cavalry also now has momentum-based damage. The faster you're riding, the more damage both you and your enemy will receive from attacks. This makes combat on horseback powerful, but dangerous. Vehicles aren't limited to horses though. Unleash massive projectiles at anyone foolish enough to enter your sights with the ballista. Rain death from above with the catapult.
Well done.
Who's over there?
Into the grass quickly. He mustn't see us.
Amicia, his lantern.
I understand.
He's coming!
Oh Lord. It's horrible.
But it worked. You can be sure they heard that.
What was that? Huh? Something's going on over there. Guys. Let's
one of the 4 playable heroes in Warhammer Chaosbane. Before we begin, please remember the gameplay you're going to see is from a version of the game that is still in development. Valen is a captain of the Empire. trained in arms from a young age, and a veteran of many battles against the enemies who threaten the old world. He's a strong fighter who can take heavy damage and deal with entire hordes of enemies. He's a close combat specialist and always carries a shield to fend off attacks. Vahlen's combat skills are mainly based on melee attacks, crowd control, and area of effect abilities. With his powerful melee attacks, Vahlen can crush any enemy. And with attacks that cause high area damage, he can stand up to enemy hordes. Vahlen can also taunt enemies, so they focus him and leave his allies alone. By planting banners and fighting in the area of effect, Vahlen and his allies can take advantage of considerable bonuses during fights. This includes bonuses to damage, armor, and immunity to crowd control. Each character also has a unique class skill. Vahlen uses a shield to knock back enemies and stun them. In Warhammer Chaosbane, all playable characters are aligned with a god. As a captain of the Empire, Vahlen worships the all-powerful Sigma, patron god of the Empire. By making offerings to your patron god, you can unlock passive skills to improve your character's abilities, as well as even more powerful active skills. The gifts bestowed by Sigma are not only the extraordinary weapons Vahlen has at his disposal. As he fells the creatures of chaos, he feels his bloodless gall. Once full, he can unleash his fury with new supercharged skills, perfect for getting out of a tight spot. With the first level of Bloodlust, he can tear through enemies with a Warhammer. On the second level, he summons a huge shield and charges through the creatures of chaos while dealing immense damage. At the highest level is the ability to smash the ground with superhuman strength, dealing heavy area damage and repelling the enemies around him. That's it for the gameplay video dedicated to Conrad Vahlen. Follow Chaosbane on social media for more details and gameplay videos. Warhammer Chaosbane. Today, we're going to take a look at the first Warhammer Fantasy hack and slash.
The time for diplomacy has ended, my lord. The threat of war rolls across our northern border, and we must divert all our attention to the unchecked malice of our foe. Our caravans are increasingly harassed by the lawless brigands and anarchistic lone wolves. But our mines, quarries, and other holdings are safe for now, thanks to your noble warlords and their well-stocked personal camps. We must secure our income by protecting our roads and our trade routes, if we are to swiftly raise new armies for the upcoming conflict. The lurking territory war will have us march across our lands to defend all of its borders. Alliances with neighboring houses need careful consideration, as some have unsteady ambitions. As our ranks swell and our castles grow numerous, so too will our need for supplies. Let our warlords seek out the more covert markets and open trade. Prices might surge, but these times may call for dire measures. If we are to march, we will require stout wood and unyielding iron to match our resolve. The time is now, sire, to rouse the kingdom, so that it may focus itself to the industry of war, the like of which the world has never seen.
Soft beds, rich food, and the temptations of the flesh. But the horde is at the walls. Remember who you are. You fight for. Remain unconquered!
Actually might need to go support these sword units quicker than we think. So let's get our range guys, make sure they're firing here. It's tempting to move those swordsmen round, but what we're going to do is to protect our flank, keep ourselves secure, and make sure we don't make any silly mistakes. So Gonzagzan here, obviously leader of the White Horses, is going to lead the charge here into the rear of these spearmen.
Crossbows, stand by! You have improved in my estimations.
Here he goes, great rear charge, none of them turned round, which is great for us, meaning obviously we're going for a bit of a hammer and anvil technique here.
The enemy warriors are running.
Using this heavy cavalry to try and rout the units. One of them is gone, 3 left, but obviously our men are starting to waver themselves, so we actually need to be quick around this situation. Their cavalry, another charge. Obviously they're in shield wall formation, which gives them a bit of charge resistance. So hopefully those guys aren't dead. Let's go for our second charge. And go for a great, hopefully another rear charge and clear out the rest of those units. But unfortunately it looks like they've actually managed to turn around just in time, because that has done tremendous damage to both of our units.
Take care you are not trampled on the hoof. Ready?
Yep, we've been outplayed there.
Our warriors run! Craven dogs!
We managed to knock 2/3 out of Gonzagzan's unit out. And it looks like he actually might be retreating the battlefield, along with one of the units of spearmen.
Show no mercy! Shoot!
But yeah.
You build and conquer a world with endless possibilities as you discover the 19th century and lead your own industrial revolution. Workers and farmers are the backbone of your island and have many needs to be tended to ensure their happiness. Make sure they're well fed, clothed, clean, and not too overworked, and your growing city will flourish. Increasing your city's attractiveness keeps the populace happy and even attracts visitors. But there will always be a push and pull between attractiveness and progress. The new newspaper feature shows the impact your decisions have made on your citizens. You can always change these negative stories for propaganda, but that can have consequences of its own. As your empire grows, so will your alliances and trade routes. This will take you far from your starting island, but nowhere is as breathtaking and unique as the New World. Once discovered, the New World will become a crucial extension of your empire, giving access to resources needed to propel you into a wondrous new age. But beware, the more you expand, the more complicated your relationships with other leaders become. You may have to fight for what's yours. Anno 1800.
Noblest men of Rome, has our republic ever known such abundance? New roads and aqueducts decorate the landscape, built by the fruits of conquest. Our once humble city is the flourishing center of a mighty empire. This wealth was bought by the bravery of our legions, victors in 1,000 battles over 1,000 enemies. And it is to one man that we owe this new infusion of wealth dedicated to our gods. Some of you grumble about more honors heaped on an already honored man. You whisper the word king and spit the word tyrant. But has he not honored us with his feats of arms? Has he not cleansed the Republic of its impure elements? Even our most ancient enemies cower in obeisance and clamor for his friendship. It is safer for you to be his friend.
When the sun of the Yamato Empire overwhelms the skies, and the flaming spirit of the samurai ignites the hearts of Mikado's soldiers, fiery rain will surely flood the ocean.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The attack yesterday on the Hawaiian Islands has caused severe damage to American naval and military forces. I have directed that all measures be taken for our defense.
You will witness the sun and the stars intertwined in a ferocious battle. The divine wind turning into a firestorm. The spirits of the abyss hunting the living. Steel birds soaring skyward, bringing death and destruction. And the ocean will become the grave for the earthborn. Hundreds of brave soldiers will march through this hell to see a brand new day. What that day is destined to bring forth depends on your command.